How's it going, guys? And welcome back to Retrospect, your go-to retro gaming podcast. You're listening to episode 45. Today, we'll be talking about a bit of news from not E3, Summer Games Fest, I don't know what we're calling it these days, and what makes a game retro. This is a question that came up actually unintentionally on a podcast. I think like one of our first few podcasts, right, Brendan? You remember that?
Oh, really?
I think yeah. I remember you saying like, "Oh, this could be a whole episode trying to debate what is retro, what does that even mean." So we're gonna be talking about that. But as you've already assumed, on the mics as always, we have the retro gaming revolutionary Brandon Saltalamacchia. What's up, dude?
Nothing much, man. Been a busy weekend with family stuff, but like we're launching Card Gamer. If this goes up tomorrow, we're launching Card Gamer tomorrow on the Thursday. So I am a busy bean doing all the stuff on that. But after that, I'm cruising, man. Things have been busy the last couple of months. So I'm kind of looking forward to being able to get back to my routine and just getting my head down really and doing the pod. Doing the pod. Man, shout out to a good routine. That's something that I never thought that I would appreciate. I've always been like a just kind of go with the flow kind of person. Like, we're just gonna do it and we'll have fun and figure it out. But a routine really can save you a lot of stress and just bad times. I don't know if that's the same in your scenario. Yeah. And it's even worse when you like work for yourself. Like I know I've got to review like the RG Nano and I'm a bit behind, but like I need to get like disciplined. I'm like, I don't have to. Who's telling me that I've got to write this? Nobody. So I'm not going to do it. So a routine's good, you know, like setting times like review products, podcasts, blah, blah, you know.
Yeah. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it right now. No one's telling me to do this.
Yeah.
That is the bane of my existence. Even in like an 8 to 5, if you're pretty autonomous and like people trust you to get your work done, you know, there's just like a lot of times where I'm just like, what do I do next? Like, what am I supposed to be doing next? Can someone just tell me what they want me to do? And no one does that anymore. No one's like, hey, I need you to do this. Like, I mean, some people will do that for you, but a lot of the times it's like, all right, you're a grown working adult, figure this out. And you're like, okay,
I feel like that's when you know you're good at your job. If your boss isn't like pinging at you all the time, like Rob, the video producer we've got on, I haven't spoken to him in like a week, but he's just creating like this awesome content. And I just know that he's like getting on with it. And that kind of like de-stresses me because I don't have to keep on top of him and so on and so on. Our writers are a little different because we're always like constantly writing different things. Should we feature that? Should we write about that?
Well, and you have like deadlines. You have like breaking news stuff you have to cover like that day. So it's like, oh, hey, we need to have this up. Which I saw in real time with the most recent, oh gosh, what was it? It was another article for
the McDonald's?
Was it the Nuggy Boy? Was it another Nuggy Boy thing, or was it something else?
It's Grimace's birthday. McDonald's just like shadow dropped a Game Boy game out of nowhere and just like put it on a one-liner in their press release. And luckily Anthony found it. And that, I read today, it did like 140,000 page views for us, which was nuts. It really popped off.
That is insane.
So yeah, did good things for the brand.
Yeah, it just goes to show. If you're on top of that stuff, paying attention, you can get it out there. I mean, Anthony, I mean, the fact that he found that in a press release, like a one-line thing, like, oh yeah, there's a Game Boy game that they're re-releasing or putting out there, like that's insane.
He's a magician.
Nuts. Yeah. All right, well, a little bit of housekeeping for you guys. We are still shipping units of a handheld history, correct, Brandon? I want to mention that.
Yeah, correct. You can see it down there. And you can also pre-order it on Amazon. And it will be delivered like September, October. So grab a copy while you can dizzle.
Indeed. Leave us a review. I don't know if anyone has done a review on a podcast service before, but it's really easy, guys. You just go to your service. You find where it has the little stars, and any platform usually has a little stars section or leave a review section. You click on that, you leave a nice review. All right. It's easy as that. All you got to do. Peasy. It really helps us out. We appreciate it. Go ahead and do that. And don't be afraid to reach out to us on Twitter as well. Start conversations with us. We can talk about anything from corn dogs to retro gaming. You know, we can cover it all. So
I need to get one, man. I need to get one for an episode. I don't know. We don't have them in the UK, so you have to like fly one over, and that just sounds even more disgusting.
I'll ship you a frozen corn dog.
Oh, frozen. Yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
good shout. Yeah.
Do you know, like, that would be so gross. Like, we're just sitting here just munching on corn dogs, like, while we're like podcasting.
Oh, imagine that in the
wants
mic.
to hear that. Yeah, no one wants to hear that. Yeah, that's disgusting. All right, so really quick, I wanted to just touch a little bit on not E3 Summer Games Fest, the announcements that we kind of saw the last week. There's still some disparate, I think, announcements or things coming out in the next month, but nothing like major. So, Brandon, I wanted just to get your overall thoughts and favorite announcements from the last week. So, did anything stick out to you that you were like, oh, that looks cool?
Yeah, a couple of things did. I'll fly over them. Like the Mortal Kombat 1 gameplay they launched, it must have been like 4 or 5 minutes of just kick-ass gameplay. And one thing I noticed was like the great fighting mechanics, the actual noises of like the fatalities, like how I know how they record that. Like they start smashing up watermelons and stuff, and probably eat corn dogs as well. Oh, fatality. That was really cool. And the co-op stuff, I just think that's a really cool fighting game to keep on top of. And I think they're kind of changing up the storyline a little bit. So it'd be good to see what they do when it launches. There was Sonic Superstars as well, which was a little bit random, but it feels like a really cool co-op nostalgic game, which kind of probably has a lot of Easter eggs going back to the originals. And then there's Prince of Persia, which I only spotted on Twitter because it was getting hate. Everyone was like, why bring back Prince of Persia in this format? It was like what they call it, like a platformer format, but with like Fortnite graphics. But I actually think it looked pretty cool. And I'm hoping that it does get some good reviews when people actually start testing it, because it does look like a fun pick up and play, less serious Prince of Persia game that I think is going to kind of, be targeted towards the masses, which I'm hoping will do good things for the franchise for when they launch like I was going to say a AAA game, but like a proper Prince of Persia game.
Yeah.
So that was what interested me.
Yeah, those are all great picks. And it's two things. It seems like Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter 6, with those two kind of releasing and restarting sort of how a lot of those games are built, it seems like we're almost in like a fighting game renaissance where like a lot, like I saw someone talking about Street Fighter yesterday, and like this game, I don't know like how it's going to be compared to everything that's coming out this year because we have so much. He's like, but this game is seriously so good. He's like, this is the best game that
it got an award, didn't it? Like I can't remember what the award it got, but something that they don't hand out often.
Right. People are loving it. So hopefully Mortal Kombat is in the same kind of boat in terms of, how it looks. It looks great right now. Sounds great. Sounds disgusting. So yeah, hopefully they can carry that through. Yeah. And then Prince of Persia, yeah, I've seen a few people that also are excited about it, though. Like it wasn't all hate, and I think this is the only thing they could do to keep that franchise going forward with what they've built. Because I remember there being like rumors a while ago about them working on another game, and I don't think maybe there is one coming down the road like you're talking about. But this is the best way to start. I feel like just very easy to jump into, get yourself reacquainted with Prince of Persia, more in the original traditional style, the 2D scroller, and just, like, oh yeah, this is great. And there's like some lore they're going to put in, like some true Persian history and lore they're going to be adding to this game, apparently. So
nice.
Yeah, looks cool. For me, Star Wars Outlaws. I think that game looks awesome. Really excited about that. It's going to be huge, so I'm not going to start that game until I feel like I have the capacity to be able to play
How huge? Are we talking like Elder Scrolls huge? Skyrim huge?
People were saying you can like go to other planets, and there's just all kinds of stuff you can do. So it's going to be in the vein of like Starfield also. And so I'm just like, dude, we got some big space games coming out. And like, one is Star Wars and one is not. So the next one on my list is Starfield. I think that showcase was excellent. It looked really cool. I think Xbox overall had the best, best showcase they've had in a very long time. From announcing Fable to Starfield, and just being able to show what they've been working on, and having a ton of other just third-party support coming in looks really good. So Starfield was
excited
awesome.
for Fable. Fable will be, it's about time. Like, there's been teases for many years about bringing Fable back, and I'm excited for what they have to offer. And again, like, I don't know if it's just Twitter becoming a space for just hate, but like Fable didn't get much love either. But like, nobody cares what the character looks like. We just want a fun game to play that we feel has the £60, £70 value that we paid, right?
Right.
Nobody cares about how the character looks.
And I think the art style is a choice. The one thing that stuck out to me was the humor. It was kind of like tongue-in-cheek style humor, and I don't remember that being as much of a thing in the first two games. Maybe it was.
Because there were swear words, right, in the trailer.
I think so.
Or am I wrong?
And it was just like cheeky, like there was just like some funny stuff happening, and I was like, what is going on here? But yeah, I know people are excited about that. It's been a long time coming, so good to finally see something at least about it. So, but overall, I think this time of year is just not the same without the like overarching umbrella, in my opinion, with like E3 kind of being the container that has all the announcements. There's just something like that's lost, I think, with these just disparate conferences that are happening everywhere. And you're just like, what is this? Like, didn't we just hear about this game like over here in this same conference? And wait, what? Yeah, like,
it feels like you always have to be like on it to see the news, isn't it? Like, it's all just being like shot out of nowhere. And I think I even read something about Nintendo. A leak happened where Nintendo are having a direct soon that might be remaking an old SNES game.
Well,
that someone tweeted.
Don't get ahead of yourself, all right, dude. This happens every year. People are always like, "Oh, there's going to be another Nintendo Direct."
Yeah,
I don't believe it. All right, they said it's supposed to happen tomorrow. They said it's going to be happening June 21st. Watch, this is going to come out. I'm going to launch this podcast. There's going to be a direct tomorrow. People are like, "You're an idiot."
Damn it!
Yeah. But yeah, we'll see. I think just missing Nintendo and having no like major PlayStation stuff just really kind of left me like, it's fine. All right. Well, not talking about current games anymore. Let's answer the question really quickly, or not really quickly, because I have a lot of questions in here we could talk about. Oh my gosh, my headphones just went off so loud. Titles, or like what is considered retro? This is a question you asked a while ago, and so the first thing I looked up was, what is this? What games are considered retro? And it says titles with an original release date over 15 years ago qualify as retro, according to fairgameretro.com. I don't know about that website. I don't know how credible they actually are, but I do feel like that's kind of the consensus I see. It puts you back 3 console generations, sort of. So that would put us in 2008, and we'd have the Wii, the PS3, the Xbox 360, DS, and PSP. Man, what a lineup!
God, that was like the pinnacle of gaming. And I don't know, this will probably like tie into our questions about nostalgia, but like, it'd be good. We should have asked Jason, because Jason's a little bit older than us. Does he think retro goes like further back and then stops at like the original Xbox? Where we're kind of seeing it as like, when I feel like Atari's retro, but I'm sometimes I even think that's like vintage retro. That's like, woo, that is way back. That is like ancient, baby. But Jason would probably disagree. So
you're getting into the antiques at that point. That's how I feel about some of those older, like really old. They're antiques because they don't work. Yeah. They don't really work anymore. Like, they're so hard to get working, and like they're super expensive to like find games for. You're like, this is impractical at this point. Like, why am I doing this?
I think I have to agree with Fame Go Retro. I would probably go to the rule of like 3 generations ago. So like you said, that's the PlayStation 2. See, I don't think the PlayStation 3 is retro. I still think
it doesn't
that's
feel
like,
retro.
Nah, that's still got like some modern games in it. You can still go into your local store and buy the games,
Sort of.
For me, it's like PS2, Xbox 360, the DS, PSP, and then GameCube. I don't think the Wii's retro yet. I don't know about you.
Well, I mean, the Wii had a long lifespan, and I mean, it still feels like we're playing Wii games because the Wii U technically had the Wii motes still, so you were still playing Wii games on there essentially. But yeah, like I think how like you always think someone is the same age, like if you have like a nephew or if you have somebody in your family, like in your brain they're always just the same age. Like my younger brother, to me, he's like perpetually like 13, even though he's like 27 now. And I'm just like, I can't stop thinking of you as this version, and it's the same for my older brother as well. Like I think of him as a certain age, and they're like locked in time. I wonder if that's the same for like consoles, like to me, those things don't feel retro because I was like old enough to purchase them myself, and I'm like, this doesn't feel retro to me anymore. But like things that are, maybe Super Nintendo,
Right.
that still is in my brain as a retro console.
So you're not associating nostalgia with it, which you don't class as retro. That's probably on the lines of where I am. The PS3, I hold no nostalgia to. PS2, 100%. That's so much nostalgia for me.
PS2 was a good system. PS3 was not a good system.
Ew.
Yeah, it didn't do as well. It caught up near the end, but it wasn't that great. And I had a 360 and I freaking loved it. But to me, it doesn't feel like retro gaming because when I think of the graphics on there, I think that's another question. Like, do you think it's, do you think that we assume something is retro because of the art style more as well? I mean, I think like if you think of a Super Nintendo game, like, you have those pixelated graphics, yeah, great. But then you have modern, game makers, indie developers that are making retro inspired games like Shovel Knight, Hollow Knight, all this kind of stuff. And they look like retro games, but they do a lot more behind the scenes.
Right.
So it's kind of like skewing my perspective as like, is it the graphical style? Is it, like what's causing me to like assume that Super Nintendo is more retro than, let's say, GameCube?
Yeah. I'm actually surprised you don't think the Xbox 360 is retro. There's definitely on the
feel
cusp.
like it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Because I always think of it like if you can see squares and you can see like parts of objects that are just not like super curved, you're getting into the retro space there, And the Xbox 360 is certainly like, Lara Croft had curved aesthetics then, But before that, she's very much triangular. Yeah,
just the polygon moving on the screen. Well, and like you just made me think about this, but like, okay, so what's the defining feature of the PS4 or PS5 now? Like 20 years from now, 15 years from now, the PS5, according to our math from Fair Game Retro, is going to be considered retro at that point. But like, what's going to be the defining, a characteristic, I guess, of a PS5 game?
I just went straight to 4K resolution. Like, did the PlayStation 4 have 4K?
No, they were 1080. When they released the PS4 Pro, it did go up to 4K.
Right, I remember that because I'm looking at my box now. It's like near the bin where the PlayStation 5s just came in and kicked it to the side. So maybe that's like the defining technological advancement from the PS4 to PS5. You go, yeah, that was the 4K era or the pay-to-play era.
Or
the microtransactions.
Our last disc-based era,
Ooh, yeah.
Like the PS5 and the Xbox Series X both have discs, but I don't know where we're going to go next after this.
Have you got a disc to PS5 or are you discless? Yeah.
I have a disc one. I still just like being able to share and, sell back my games if I don't want to play them anymore. I'm just like, okay, I'm done with this. Like, I'll get some money back. But the hard thing now is with the subscription for like PlayStation 5, the games that I buy, they eventually make it to that service, and then it almost makes my game just worth nothing, because I'm like, oh, it's on PS Plus Essentials now or Extra. And so Ratchet and Clank, where I could have sold that maybe for like $20 to $30, now I'm like at maybe $15 to $10. It's like, jeez, I paid 70 for it. Here you go. Here's a $10 game. So
didn't even think of that.
Yeah, man. So going back to the nostalgia thing, like really quickly. So what for you, like how much of an impact does that have in your perception of retro games and like enjoyment of them?
Oddly, a lot. I feel like, and I think this is where you go, like, what is retro? And it has to have some, for me, it has to have some connection to nostalgia. Like,
Mm.
I would, so pretty much anything nostalgic, anything probably like pre 2010 is where I would class things as retro. And every one of my favorite retro games are associated with like good nostalgic experiences within my childhood. So for me, it's a fair bit. I don't know, but people would kind of argue, I think, like nostalgia and retro are two. Like retro is an age or a time frame, where nostalgia is a feeling. I guess they're two totally separate things.
Yeah, and I think like I'm in the same boat where my nostalgia is really linked to that high school, early teenager year where I started like actually researching and figuring out what I liked. It's kind of like when you figure out your musical tastes in like middle school or like earlier grades. You're like, okay, I know that I like emo music, or I know that I like this kind of music, and you kind of associate that time period. And music for me, especially, I find that I have nostalgia. I have almost instantaneous nostalgia as soon as I hear a song. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm back in
Green
middle
Day.
school in an awkward phase of my life where I'm trying to figure out who I'm supposed to be. And video games are kind of in the same boat. Like, you hear music from a game that you played long ago, and you're like, oh wow, like this takes me back to that exact period that I was playing that game. Or the same thing with just even playing it again. Sometimes I think I ruin the nostalgia of a retro game by going back and playing it. I'm like, man, I used to love this game. And you play it in modern times, and you're like, I don't like this anymore. Like,
and you realize how slow games are. Like, I always go back to Pokemon, and I'm like, oh, this is so slow. So when I play on emulators, I do the whole fast forward thing for me to like enjoy it. I'm like, good God, like my attention span's terrible.
Yeah, what has happened to us? Just growing up in the digital age has ruined our attention spans and our ability to enjoy just slowing down, just things things in general. This is a self-help podcast now.
Yeah. Slow it down.
Recover your inner child. We we talked about Pokemon. I love Pokemon Red and Blue, but thinking about going back and playing that, really realistically, I'm just like, dude, I don't know if I want to do that. Like, maybe if it's like I have it on my Game Boy or my emulator, I toss it in my bag and I just chip away at it, like little by little, play in like 5-minute bursts where I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna try and make it to the next gym or go kill some Weedles in the grass and keep moving on. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I would play start to finish or as heavily as I did as a kid, like Pokemon Red and Blue. Like, I just don't think I could do that anymore.
No, and I think when I play like the modern Pokemon games, they've got like the fast travel, they've got the flying mounts now, they've got the bikes, and everything's just getting you there a little bit quicker,
a little faster. The user experience has been elevated over time. How do you think the availability of emulators and re-releases has affected like retro games in general?
This problem with like this whole industry right now is that the like Nintendo and Xbox are making it like really hard to like access these retro games. So I think emulators are just giving people that little bit of access that they want to get hold of them, because people are losing trust when it comes to like Nintendo, like the whole misconceptions, the lack of preservation when it comes to their games, them turning off services that you've like paid for. It's just, everyone's like, I should have the right to play the old games that I bought back in the day. So I think emulators are doing good things for the retro space, but Nintendo and Sega and Microsoft just can't see that yet. I want to go back and play the original Fables now that Xbox came out and announced their new one. But like, how do you do that? I don't even know how you do that nowadays, about having the hardware.
I think it would be Xbox has been better, I would say, about backwards compat. Like, they do a really good job. I think even in their digital store, there might be a way for you to actually get Fable onto your Xbox. I don't want to say for certain, but in terms of companies that are doing a better job, Xbox is up there with doing a better job. PlayStation is not doing as well, and Nintendo is definitely the worst, which is a shame because Nintendo has the most in terms of early childhood memories and IP that they're just kind of hanging on to.
Yeah, I
but
get
in a
it.
more
They want more money, but then it's like I just feel like they're kind of just being way too greedy. You know, it feels a little bit like disrespectful to the gamers that have played all of your Pokemon games. I've played every single Pokemon game. Like, come on, Nintendo! Like, just let me get access to Pokemon Red somehow. Just do it.
just put it on NSO. Call it a day.
Yeah,
It's gonna happen.
quid. I'll buy it. Whatever.
It's gonna happen. No, it'll be part of a Game Boy pack. They're just gonna release it and it'll be out there, but it'll be part of the NSO subscription. And it'll probably cost more. It's like, oh, if you want the Game Boy edition of NSO, that's gonna cost you an extra $5 or $6 a month. And it's like, okay, all right, fine.
You got me.
All right, I'll do it. But on like a more positive note, you know, in the keeping the question in mind, what is considered retro? I think it's really cool that emulators have sort of made these retro games modern in a way. You know, there's some games that I'm thinking about. I know it's the Castlevania games on Game Boy Advance. They got destroyed for being too dark because at the time there wasn't a backlit screen, and it was so hard to see those games when they first came out. Now, obviously, the Game Boy Advance SP came out, made it a lot better. But even still today, like if you wanted to experience a lot of these retro games, it's actually better now that there's these handhelds that can actually emulate them or play them in a more modern fashion. Even on the Switch, you can experience a lot of these games in a better form factor, better screen, just because that technology exists now. So
and save states, you know, you can save wherever you want now,
states.
like the actual frame, and you can have multiple. Like, I want to go back and experience that gym leader. I want to, you know, fast forward a little bit, speed up. Like, it's giving it new life, and I think it's hard for these guys to appreciate what like emulation's actually doing. Like, you know,
dude. I played through Mega Man X. I think after I was inspired after Bob Wolf talked about it, I was like, I need to go back and play that again. And so I beat it, and I could not have beaten that game without save states. I was like, this game is so freaking hard.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, how did we beat this as kids? Again, it's like, what has changed in you know, childhood to now, to where I had the patience and the wherewithal to sit there and grind through these levels over and over and over again to memorize the attack patterns of this final boss.
Oh man, I remember I used to cry at video games. I was that angry. I just used to be like kid that would just scream like, just cry in my room like I can't complete a game. Like, I think it was like Pokemon Gold, where I can't remember what gym leader it was, but she had Milk Tank.
Milk! I know exactly what you're talking about. I forget what gym leader that is, but yes, everyone got destroyed by her.
That day I became a man, dude. I was so angry, and I think I just gave it to a friend at school, and they completed it, and I must have gave them like half a sandwich or something.
Oh man, was it Whitney?
Yeah, that's her. Yeah,
Whitney will always lead her with her signature Pokemon, Milk Tank.
God,
Milk Tank.
dude.
Milk Tank messed you up, man.
Yeah,
because it could heal itself, and it just freaking destroyed you.
Just I can't remember what it did, but it would like sit on you and like absolutely obliterate everything. And I'm just there with my weed, like no, and I couldn't like be loud because I'd like my parents would like take the Game Boy off me, so I'd just be like crying in my teeth, like on my worm light. Then trying to read like my Pokemon manual, like, how do I kill this fucking Milk Tank? This goddamn cow is pounding me. Oh god!
You're like under your bed, like pulling out your guide, like with the worm light. You're like,
just crying onto the pages. They're getting crustier and crustier. And there's that one single page, like how to beat Whitney, just covered in tears.
I hate this game. I just want to keep going.
Oh god.
Well, I mean, if you truly had a Weedle, I would be concerned for you, Brandon.
Yeah.
Don't bring a Weedle to a Milk Tank fight. Okay? Don't do that.
Oh god.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know if we answered every question, but like to me, retro is really kind of personally defined. You can apply numbers to it. You can kind of look back 3 console generations to you. But yeah, it would be interesting to talk to some people who grew up in, you know, like early 80s into the 90s, and like those were their consoles, like when they were going through, high school or a certain age demographic, to see like, okay, yeah, I consider this retro now. Now, obviously, from the collector's space, I think we're already starting to see like GameCube games are getting pretty expensive. Wii games, some are kind of getting expensive, not just quite, because there were so many Wiis out there. Like you can still find a lot of that stuff.
I see people grading DS games now. You know, when you see games getting graded, you're like,
that's not a good sign.
That's not good. Is that retro?
Yeah, one, I'm old, and two, I can't afford those anymore. Great.
Yeah.
And DS honestly is like one of the hardest things to emulate. Like that is the one thing I think we're gonna struggle with it unless Nintendo figures out a way. I mean, they've kind of done this where you can do like a same screen top and bottom, layout. But that's gonna be a tough thing to figure out with just the DS, because the whole touchscreen interface. Like I don't know if people are going to want to emulate that or really recreate that in a lot of ways. So.
And that's why I think the hardware is still kind of expensive. Like people are like, I'd rather, spend $100 on an actual 3DS and play the games authentically, because there's no great way to do it yet.
Nope. Unless, someone could do like a mouse and keyboard thing where like, you have the mouse and it's your touch screen in the bottom and then you move with your D-pad. I don't know. That sounds like a bad time, to be honest.
Yeah.
It sounds like a terrible time. So hopefully someone figures that out. But yeah, hopefully we answered some people's questions on what is considered retro. Maybe we did, maybe we didn't. I don't know. But moving on to our last segment really quick, Brandon, I got to know, what are you playing?
So I'm not really playing much, but I did go to an antique store the other day. I was in Wales. I was in like near the Brecon Beacons, which for those in the US that are listening is like one of the biggest
amazing
cliffs in the United Kingdom. It's like one of the biggest 5, I think. And it's not too big. I think you guys would class it as a small hill. But in the UK, it's like people walk it and stuff. And I almost got in trouble. We were going up to this lake, and I was telling my girlfriend, it's literally like a 2-kilometer hike, love. Like, honestly, it's just up there. It turned out that we were like walking uphill for like 2 hours. Pippin, our corgi, almost died because she was just like panting. And I was like, it's just up the top. And everyone like walking by was like, you got this, keep going, it's not far. And they all lied to us, man. And I'm never going back to Wales because they're all liars. And Kate and Pippin almost passed out. But going back to what am I playing?
You made it. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm back for the podcast. We good.
I'm alive. Yeah.
For those watching or listening, I'm showing the viewers some kind of like old consoles I found. This was £5.
Yeah, what is this, dude? Like this?
It's the Safari.
That looks like a doorstop. That looks like a Frisbee.
Yeah, it almost looks like, I don't know. Yeah.
And are you supposed to hold this, or are you supposed to like put it on a desk and just mess around with it? Because like that looks like awkward to hold just from a handheld standpoint too. Like what is going on there?
It's like I think you it's like a desk game, and the batteries it uses, I haven't got them, but they're like big boys.
Oh,
it's called the Bambino Safari.
Okay, Bambino Safari. Let me look.
Bambino is like baby in Italian, so I don't know if there's some kind of Italian. I don't know. And then this one that people might know, I don't know, but it's called the Grandstand Firefox. This looks cool. It's got an analog stick.
That looks pretty cool.
Yeah. This was £5 as well, dude. Like, so this is kind of like what I'll be playing with tomorrow, just to test it out. Like,
see
this
if it actually works.
It's just really clunky, but cool.
Yeah, I like the look of that one a lot. And so that one released in 1983, apparently, and the Bambino released in 1980 as well. I think just straight up 1980. So those games are probably straight garbage, but but the experience and the just the cool reality of like that is a working electronic from 40 years ago is pretty awesome.
Crazy.
I look forward to that video. That's cool.
What about you? What are you playing?
For me, I am so cool. Well, okay. I thought I was close to finishing Zelda. I don't think I'm close to finishing Zelda anymore. I'm not going to spoil anything, but there's a point where like you think like I felt like I was concluding the story. I was like, I did it. And then something happens and you're like, oh, Okay.
Back you go.
I guess I still have more to do. Yeah. So, so like I told Hannah last night, my wife, I was like, all right, hey, I'm gonna try and finish up Zelda tonight. She's like, all right, cool. And so, I played for like an hour and a half, and she's like, "You finished? You beat the boss?" And I was like, "No, no."
Just a few more weeks.
Yeah, I'm not done. And she's like, "Classic." She's like, "Classic Jake, saying he's gonna be done, and he's not done yet."
Yeah.
And I was like, "I promise, it's almost over. I promise." Because I think at this point, I probably have over 60 plus hours in Zelda.
Wow, dude, nice, solid.
Yeah. Which is not easy to do as a dad.
Yeah, fair play.
Let me tell you something. Not easy to do in general as a working class adult with responsibilities, but even more so, I feel like I have limited time. So the fact that I put in 60 plus hours, I'm like, all right, I'm doing a good job. I'm doing
play.
It. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I haven't touched that for a while now. There's just so much coming up, like stuff that I've got to like test and that. But I need to get. I did this with Breath of the Wild. I probably put like 20 hours into it. And I was like, next game.
Yeah, that's a shame, Brain.
I feel like I have to, like, because of my job, feel like I have to dabble into a lot of things,
That is
and
very
it just
true.
ticks away my time. And then the big dogs like Zelda, I just
they get left behind.
Yeah.
I don't have time for that. Unless the game can be beaten in 10 hours, like, good luck. I'm not going to finish this.
What was the there was a game that just got shadowed or like Hi-Fi Rush.
Drifter.
That was pretty cool.
Hi-Fi
I
Rush.
enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Pretty much completed it. And that was like 15, 20 hours. Like for me, that was like, I can see the end.
I did it.
But then Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, now that you've said you put 60 hours in, still not at the end. Oof. I don't think I'll ever complete it.
No, to not scare you away, I haven't like those 60 hours haven't been all full on like beelining towards the end goal. So you could beeline and probably get there faster, but yeah, it's there's still a lot of time left. A lot of time.
Which is good because I read someone put on Twitter, like, don't rush these games. Like Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is going to be great when you complete it, and it's going to be great after you complete it. Don't rush it because of the hype. Exactly. I respect that.
Yeah, that's my. I was talking to some friends about this. I'm going to play the game and beat the main story first. Last time I waited forever to actually finish the final story in Breath of the Wild, and it made the whole like moment for me anticlimactic because I had spent so much time leveling up. I was way overpowered, and I got there, and I was just like, oh, okay, that was the end. That was not worth all the time that I spent leveling up.
Oh man.
So now I'm like, I'm going in pretty underleveled and still finding that I'm okay. So all in all, very excited. Can't wait.
Nice.
Like where the story is going. This is the best Zelda story that I've played in a long time. So.
What would you rate it out of 10 quickly if you put 60 hours into it?
Oh gosh, man, 9 or 10. I mean, I don't really have any complaints. I mean, the only thing that I take off of it really is some of the mechanics. Like, I don't know if I love the build mechanic as much as like I think for this Minecraft generation that grew up with that stuff, they probably love this idea, and I think there's some really cool creative things you can do. But really, like for me, Zelda is like the dungeons, the new item or weapon that allows you to do something different, that makes it a bit more impactful in that way. So everything just doesn't have as much of a weight to it, at least in terms of my abilities. But yeah, 9 out of 10. It's so
solid.
Freaking good.
Yeah,
and the best story that we've had truly in a Zelda game in a long time. So would recommend if you haven't played it yet.
Nice.
But listeners, that is all the time we have this week. Let us know, what does retro mean to you? I'd be curious to hear some people's thoughts on this because it's going to differ, I'm sure, across the board. Let us know by writing into retrospect at retrododo.com or commenting on your preferred listening channel. Brandon, thank you so much, as always. Where can the good folks find you on the internet?
Going to do a plug for Card Gamer again. Check out cardgamer.com tomorrow because that's our official launch. Got 60 plus posts waiting over there, 2 videos, and I've got Stephen Graham, the designer of our book, A Handout History, to do some illustrations. So it's going to look crispy.
Dude, those look so good. Crispy. When you say tomorrow, you mean Thursday this week? Or are you talking about Wednesday?
Thursday, yeah. Thursday
Perfect.
This week, which is...
You were thinking
nice. I got you.
All right, cool. And then for me, I don't have much to plug, but it's on Twitter. You can reach out to me. It's just at BitBloggist. And until next time, y'all, catch you in the next episode.
Ciao.